Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching. How the hell are you? It is a couple days after PAX East, and Spartan and I are still hurting. But we did get a lot of great information from PAX East, specifically for this video from the Fun Pimps themselves. And I know Spartan85 is doing a much more extensive video of the stuff that we asked and the answers we got. But these are a few of the things that I felt were kind of important, kind of things that I had my own opinions on. And I wanted to share some of them with you on both the Apocalypse Edition, which we now know is just called the Console Edition, and Blood Moons, because we got to play both, we got to ask about both, and they were fantastic. Alright, so if you want to find out more about Blood Moons, I will put a timestamp somewhere on the screen here. You can skip forward to Blood Moons, but we're going to start off with the Apocalypse Edition, which is now, we confirmed, is the Console Edition. Apocalypse was just a placeholder. Now, the release date for Alpha.22 and the console version right now is summertime. Spartan85 and I did get a little bit of hush-hush information, but again, if we give out any details, we'll look like assholes in case something changes. Same with the Fun Pimps. They want to keep it at summer 2024 just in case something changes, but it is up in the air due to Sony and Microsoft. They also have a say in when the game gets released, how much it's going to be released for. And for you Microsoft players out there, they would very much like to have a voucher for the people who previously bought the game but now have to buy the new edition. They want to have a voucher with Microsoft so at least you can get a discount for buying the new game since you already paid for one. They understand it's a pain in the ass with the whole Telltale game situation, but they're doing the best that they can, and they really have to work with these other big companies to figure out everything. So let's move on. So Spartan85 and I were able to talk with Alan. He's one of the developers of the game. We got a lot of great information, and we did have a couple suggestions, so we'll start off with that. And a couple things, if you find some of this stuff in there, thank you, because it's something Spartan85 and I suggested. The first one comes from Spartan, is he wants to see a pistol in the game. A toilet pistol, something unique. It'd be pretty fun. We were kind of chit-chatting about it, maybe like a pipe pistol that just had a skin on it called the pistol, does some weird damage. Another thing that was suggested while we were asking, hey, do you have any questions for the developers, is hearing and visually impaired assistance. When we spoke to the Fun Pimps, they said they did not currently have anything in the works for visual or hearing impaired. Maybe it's something that really didn't come up, but we did suggest something along the lines of for the hearing impaired, kind of like how Fortnite has the directional audio showing up on the screen, and with the visually impaired, more contrast. I'm not an expert on that, neither is Spartan, but that's something we put forward and they were highly interested in that. They thought it was a great idea, it's something to look into, and something I personally asked for, and Alan said it was a really good idea and also wrote this one down, is for content creators trying to make thumbnails or intros, the weather can be kind of weird in the game. So instead of having to write down this whole line of code to change the weather, so I simply suggested, hey, can we move weather change to the debug menu, have it either on the pause screen or in the debug menus itself. Alan wrote that down. He thought that was a really good idea. We saw the notes firsthand. He's going to try to pass some of these suggestions up to the higher ups. So if you see changes like the toilet pistol, audio and visually impaired assistance, or weather changing in the debug menu, you're welcome. Spartan85 and I really tried to put our own opinions in the game, and a lot of that was from stuff that you guys suggested, so thank you very much for that. And part of the community, obviously, if they put that in, that means you helped develop the game a bit, so that's fantastic. So summertime is currently the goal for releasing the game. Again, it is up to Sony and Microsoft to collaborate with that. Spartan85 and I did get a little bit of a hush-hush information, so we can say with confidence that that is the target goal. We can't say anything else other than that, because if something changes, we look like assholes, the Fun Pimps looks like assholes, and we don't want to do that. So there is going to be a really cool feature, again, more or less for content creators, with a really awesome free orbital camera. So you tell the camera where to go and what to do while you're actually playing, and it will record different angles for you. That is something that I think is really cool, especially if you're trying to show off a base design, even if you're not a content creator, but you want to make a clip to show your friends. It's something really cool. Alan was able to find her remote to rewind the footage that they had displayed at the Fun Pimps booth and get us to the specific part that will show up on the screen here. This is a really cool orbital camera, something as a creator I thought was really, really awesome. And I'm definitely going to be using that feature in Alpha.22. Another really cool thing that we noticed was variety of clothing on both the survivors and the zombies. There will be more character customization, but if you've been following the Fun Pimps on Twitter, they've been showing the different animal skins. We also got to see firsthand a lot of the new zombie skins. So not every jiggle physics lady is gonna have the same black dress on. There are different colored dresses, there's different colored t-shirts, clothing. So not all the zombies are gonna look the same like we have right now. Something really cool. So the next cool feature is 7 Days to Die will be the very first console game to have Twitch integration, which means the audience can actually spawn in zombies, spawn in airdrops, can even reverse the controls of the Twitch streamer. But it's also really cool that the audience can help or hinder the streamer. So I thought that was something really noteworthy. We did ask if there will be crossplay, which is something that Microsoft is definitely going for right now. Sony is kind of not answering at the moment, but the Fun Pimps really do want to have crossplay in there between the two consoles. So maybe write to your local PlayStation representative and try to get that going, because I think crossplay would be great, especially for a community our size. With Spartan85, my subscribers, we're all together on the Discord. We all are looking for people to play with, and especially with the console version, it's really hard to find trustworthy strangers. But if you're hosting a server on Alpha.22 with the new console release, the server host will have a whole lot more say and can probably make it a safer place for everyone to play with. Another thing we did ask though is, because console edition will be on PlayStation 5, Xbox One X, and Xbox One S, we did ask if cloud gaming would allow the older generation of consoles to play just like a lot of other games. As long as you play through the cloud, your older Xbox can handle it. They said there should not be a problem with that. They did not 100% confirm it, but cloud play with the new console edition should run just fine. But it is something that they have on their radar. So a lot of this stuff, if it's not 100% confirmed, means it's on their radar. They are talking about it and they are trying to work on it. Now we have the almighty, how many frames does it run? It runs great. So Spartan85 and I were there on Friday and Saturday. By the end of Saturday, the console versions were still running fantastic. And don't forget, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, those consoles were running all day in a small booth. They are hot, their thermal paste is gone, but the game was still running beautifully. So to answer that question, I really don't think frames are going to be an issue. But again, Spartan85 has a much more extensive list of things that we noticed, we asked, and we got answers for from the Fun Pimps for the console edition, along with during the live stream, which I'll put up in the card in the corner. We streamed Saturday at 1 o'clock. We got a lot of great information. You guys were able to interact directly. We were able to speak to Alan and Pocket Ninja over on Twitch. So thank you very much to you guys. Thank you very much to Pocket Ninja. Thank you very much to Alan and the Fun Pimps. They were fantastic at answering all our questions. But now off to Blood Moons. So first off, Blood Moons is not being made by the Fun Pimps. Blood Moons is actually being made by iLLOGIKA, so it's kind of like a separate game. It is a game mode that they kind of thought about putting in 7 Days to Die, but they really don't have the time for it. They want to get the game out. The players want the game to be released, so Blood Moons is being developed by iLLOGIKA. So for anyone who's saying, oh, they should just focus on the main game, they are. It's not the Fun Pimps making the game. It is just a port over. It is fantastic though. We did get to play a lot of that, and as it stands, it is a 1v4, so one person being a zombie or the hive mind, and the other 4 players are acting as survivals. So Spartan85 and I did get to play a lot of Blood Moons and ask a couple questions. It was a very busy booth. It was hard to get information, but in the few moments that we were able to pull the devs aside and ask questions, the game is going to be the exact same Unity engine. It does play a little bit different, but if you're hopping over from 7 Days to Die as a survivor, it's going to feel just the same. So anyone who's concerned that Blood Moons is just a top-down game, no. So the way that Blood Moons works is the hive mind has approximately 4 minutes to set up his troops, kind of like Clash of Clans does. How he's going to spawn in the screamers, the lumberjacks, the cops, while the other 4 survivors are prepping for Horde Night. They're going to collect resources, loot boxes, try to upgrade their guns, try to build some defenses. So during Horde Night, the hive mind usually hops into like a zombie mode, and they can take over the zombies and actually attack the players as a zombie. And it's really crazy. If your team doesn't work together that well and somebody goes down, you have to try to revive them. All of a sudden, the next wave of zombies is coming. You have one guy down, you're getting overrun. It was chaos. It was fun. We had a lot of fun playing that at PAX. But again, the hive mind is not just top down. The hive mind is top down to start because that's an easier to see what the survivors are up to, so you can try to plan your attack based on that. So as it stands right now, it is peer-to-peer hosted. There will not be online servers for it. But again, a lot of stuff is going to happen after launch. They have to see how well the game's going to do before they start dumping a lot of time and energy into it. But the way the game is right now, it is fantastic. It is fun. I'm definitely going to try to pick it up whenever it launches. I can't wait to play it. We can even get some of the community members to join us, and that might be a fun community game to play. And another couple things that we found really interesting about the Blood Moons is the zombie abilities. So as the hive mind, you're controlling the different zombies. You get to spawn in your lumberjacks, your cops. So a couple examples of zombie abilities would be the fact that the nurse has a spitting ability, but it's not spitting like the green bile you would see from the police zombies. So the nurse acts more like a healer than an attacker. So you put your lumberjacks up front and the nurse behind them. The nurse can actually start healing them as the zombies are being attacked by the survivors. And that's leading up to the lumberjacks. Lumberjacks do cut through blocks a whole lot faster than the other zombies do. So that's a couple examples of some of the zombie abilities and the reason why the hive mind will have to be top down to try to organize the attacks a bit better, because that'd be really hard to do in first person. But that doesn't mean the survivors don't get abilities either. So different survivors will have different perks and loadouts. So you're not just playing like as a survivor, a base dude. You will have the ability to change your loadout, to change your abilities. You can be a healer, you can be a tank. It's really cool. And there's also going to be a bunch of different maps. We only got to play the one map, which had like 5 smaller locations you can hold up to inside of the map. It's not a massive map, but there will be more maps than the ones that we're showing from PAX here. And the last thing that Spartan85 and I asked was, if we are hosting a game, will there be a lot of control over how the game plays? For example, can we change the prep time so the zombies and the survivors have a longer prep time? Or maybe the length of the horde night? So they said not currently, but the game still has a lot more development that they have to do before they actually launch it. But that is something they have on their radar. They may add it before launch, they may add it in a future patch. Again, both the console edition and Blood Moons will be supported for a while. There's a lot of people putting a lot of effort into these games. They're not going to just launch it and let it die. They are putting their time and effort into it. So even everyone in the community, if you have input, go put it on their Fun Pimps Twitter, go put it on the iLLOGIKA Twitter. Be active in the community because they are listening to you. But that's all that I have for now. Those are a couple key things that I thought were important enough to share. But if you have more questions, drop it in the comment. Go check out Spartan85's coverage of the game. We also streamed on Saturday on Spartan85's channel. That was fun. So thank you very much to Hourglass Enigma. He was hanging out with us all weekend. He helped record a lot. We all held the camera at some point. It was a great amount of fun. So go check out the live stream. But for now, I'm really looking forward to these 2 games. I really hope you are too. I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.